Hey, Average Joe's fantasy football community. This is Steve back here for your running back pre-rankings for the preseason coming up. Obviously, this is something that's going to change throughout the offseason and obviously going into the actual season itself. We'll have one last ranking probably about, I would say, a week or so before the preseason. So we are going to have something really changing going on in and out of this thing. But I wanted to give you guys something for my top 20 running backs for this upcoming season. Now, the rankings that I'm giving you are for PPR, okay? Because that's pretty much what most people are playing nowadays is PPR. All right, so I want to make sure you guys are ready for that. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe channel down below. Also hit the like button. Helps this algorithm out for YouTube, so that way we continue to give you guys some great content going forward. And of course, make sure you check out our other rankings that we've got on our channel. That way you guys kind of start preparing. We will be doing, I'll do a mock draft coming up as well. I'm actually kind of excited. I've been doing some mock drafts recently, but I'll do a mock draft so you guys can have an idea of where players are starting to fall, and that way I can give you the best advice for you, right? Again, this is a PPR running back ranking, and this is early, okay? So don't get me wrong, it is early, but I wanted to give you guys something that's going to, be great for you guys to kind of prepare and go into the upcoming season. So I know this is a list that I have comprised, okay? There are obviously some great lists out there if you guys go out, other websites, things like that. But this is something I believe going into this upcoming season I think will be some great assets for you. Again, running back is a position that is, unless you get the really top 5 to maybe 8 running backs, it's tough, right? Let's be real. Running back is a position that is very, very tough to have. Now, you might fall into some players like last year. I'll use David Montgomery, right? Due to some injuries, David Montgomery ended up being a really strong running back towards the end. DeAndre Swift came out of nowhere, right? Jonathan Taylor. So there are some players you can still pick up that you may not be the name that you're used to, but will get you going and help you out and we'll get into those playoffs and winning the season. So with that said, let's get into first ranking. So the first player, again, I know this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be like, oh no, this guy's crazy. But I will say this, okay? I have Dalvin Cook as the number 1 running back going into this season. For a couple reasons. So if you look at actually Dalvin Cook's season last year, he finished second. Okay? Second. I'll take second all day, right? And again, PPR, that is something he did a really good job at. And he actually was hurt. Now, the number 1 running back last year based off PPR is Alvin Kamara. I do like Alvin Kamara a lot. And I'll talk to you where he's at in this ranking. But I have Dalvin Cook first. I think he'll continue to really ascend and be the number 1 running back this season in fantasy. Yes, I know there's some running backs come back from injury, and I'll tell you where those guys are, but I do have Dalvin Cook. Now, the second running back is Christian McCaffrey. Now, I know he was hurt last year. He frustrated a lot of people last year due to injuries, and that's not his fault. This guy's a workhorse. This guy put that whole Carolina team on his back, and deservedly so. He is a talented running back. So with that said, I know a lot of people were frustrated. They picked him overall number 1. I would have done the same thing. You can't predict injuries. So again, I still have him as one of the top tier running backs going into this season and really help, Sam Darnold in this offense. So Christian McCaffrey, number 2, okay? Number 2. I know I'm a little crazy, but I have Dalvin Cook just slightly ahead of him. Now the third running back for PPR is Alvin Kamara. Guy's a beast, all right? I know there's Latavius Murray that helps relieve him sometimes in the backfield, but with the fact that you've got Jameis Winston possibly starting this new season, no Drew Brees, you're going to need to help him, right? And what's the best thing for a quarterback is always a good running game. So the fact is he's not going to be that, 1,100, 1,200 yard rushing running back, but he will get you those yards, whether it be through the air or through the ground. I like Alvin Kamara a lot as the number 3. Number 4, I've got Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry's not known as a PPR running back, but at the end of the day, Derrick Henry is a beast. And the fact that now when I drop this video, Julio Jones has now been traded to them, there are just so many weapons. And as an opposing defense, do you cover the air, Julio and A.J. Brown, or do you stop Derrick Henry, right? That is something that is going to be very challenging and very interesting in this upcoming season. The fact that you've got 2 solid, amazing receivers on the outside and Derrick Henry right behind the quarterback. That's why I have Derrick Henry at number 4 right now. Number 5, I've got Aaron Jones. This is probably where people will start to kind of be like, okay, Aaron Jones. But look, I know that the team has not fully committed to Aaron Jones as far as like the every single down possibility with the mixture of Jamal Williams, the mixture of, heck, even Dillon, A.J. Dillon went in there. But there's no Jamal Williams. A.J. Dillon they do like a lot. He is expected to have a better role. But I like Aaron Jones a lot, especially the fact that right now, as we speak, Aaron Rodgers isn't even OTAs. So what are they going to rely on? The running game, right? If Jordan Love actually has to play some games, and there's a possibility, I don't think so, but there is a possibility, then Aaron Jones is going to be the guy that I feel is going to really matter a lot, okay? So this is where I think Aaron Jones is a great pick as number 5. Number 6, I have Saquon Barkley, only because I'm a little nervous with the injury. That type of injury can affect him. I think, at least for me, the first few games will be kind of a test, kind of really getting a little, some of that rust off of him. So I like Saquon as a very solid end of the season. I actually think you get Saquon as a steal because of his injury, but I'd like Saquon as number 6. Number 7, I've got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was obviously hurt a little bit. Kareem Hunt did an amazing job filling in. I do like Kareem Hunt a lot, and Kareem Hunt could be somebody that you have as a second running back option, but Nick Chubb is the guy. Still the guy, okay? And the fact that he can actually rush, I think, better than Kareem. He's not as great of a pass catcher as Kareem, but I like Nick Chubb overall as a better running back. After that, I've got Ezekiel Elliott. Look, Ezekiel Elliott, here's what I've seen. Obviously, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I've watched a lot of the offseason. I've watched all kinds of, YouTube videos. I've listened to podcasts. They love what Zeke is doing right now in the offseason. They say he looks lighter. He's leaner. He's actually looking closer to his rookie form. So for me, that says a lot. The running back is a big part to this Dallas Cowboys offense. And again, kind of like you think about the Titans, there's so many weapons in the air that Dak Prescott has, and yet you still have Ezekiel, who could still be an amazing pass catcher too. I like Ezekiel a lot. After that, I've got Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor is going to be great. I liked him. He showed up really well towards the end of the season. He was a running back that a lot of people were starting to write off. And if you had stuck around with him and held on to him, he rewarded you towards the end of the season. And I like what he's got going into this season as well. And for me, look, you need running backs that are going to be more of the number one guy instead of just a 1A, 1B. He is the number one guy, obviously, with some players behind to relieve him, but Jonathan Taylor's the guy. After that, I've got Josh Jacobs. Hey, Josh Jacobs, I know a lot of people obviously sit on, and think about, like, man, where is he at this whole season? But he was 8th last year. Okay, Josh Jacobs was 8th last year in fantasy. I don't have him as high just because, again, you think about some of the players that are back, Saquon, Christian, stuff like that. So I don't have him as high, but Josh Jacobs is still the guy. There is really nobody else behind him. So I like him a lot this upcoming season for the Las Vegas Raiders. After that, I've got Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is one that might move up, and I've kind of gone back and forth. But like right now, I've kept him where he's at just because injuries, not really sure. They like the other running back. They want to introduce him a little bit more into, the offense. And Justin Herbert, I think, is going to end up passing more than obviously relying on the running game. So I like Austin Eckler, but he's still one of the best pass-catching running backs that we've got in the league. Then I've got James Robinson. Now, James Robinson fell. James Robinson was 7th last year in fantasy, but he's kind of dropped some with the fact that they drafted another rookie in there, and they love this new guy they've got in. They'll sprinkle him in at wide receiver, I've heard, but James Robinson I'm a little nervous about. But I do like him a lot. He was actually a player I picked up last year. Actually, early on last year, I tweeted out that he was going to be the starter after they got rid of Leonard Fournette. And I believed in him. I believed in a lot of what he was able to do, and he rewarded me big time. Except, of course, at the end of the season when he was hurt. But I do like him a lot. Then I've got David Montgomery. Look, Cohen's coming back. I understand that. He's going to take some of the some of the pass catching abilities away from David Montgomery, which is what I think actually helped him out a lot last year. But being that he was the only guy, he finished 4th in fantasy last year. 4th, David Montgomery. And I like that they have Justin Fields at quarterback. That only helps him. Now I have him lower because of Cohen being back. Tariq is going to obviously affect that backfield some because they like him a lot. He's a playmaker. He's got those abilities to kind of relieve him, but David Montgomery I do have a lot more respect for, and I think he has the ability to improve. And again, this is an ever-changing running back rankings. This will go up and down, but I like him a lot. Then I've got Antonio Gibson for the Washington football team. Can't wait till Washington decides to pick a name, but hey, they're still the football team. Antonio Gibson is someone I think is going to be fantastic for that team. He's still growing, still young. I like him a lot. J.D. McKissick is obviously the PPR guy for them, but Antonio Gibson was starting to do a lot of what McKissick was able to do as far as the pass catching abilities go. So I like Gibson a lot as the overall star in the backfield, and he's got some great future ahead of him. Then I've got Cam Akers for the Los Angeles Rams. Hey, look, as a Florida State fan, Cam is awesome, and I'm glad Akers was able to kind of show that last year. What I was disappointed was that the Rams decided to not use him appropriately, right? They kept going back and forth with different running backs, and at the end of the day, Cam was the better running back. And I think they finally see that. I like Cam Akers a lot. Again, there's a lot of good running backs ahead of him, so I didn't want to really move him. I like where he's at right now on my list. Then I've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not sold on the Kansas City running backs. He's a great weapon, but with some of the running backs coming back, there's a lot back there. And it's a big mix. And I just don't feel comfortable picking one guy and be like, man, he is the guy. But I do like his potential. And I think being that this is going to be another year for him, I think it only helps him a lot. And I like the fact that there's a possibility of him being the guy, right? But I don't have him quite as high as some of these other running backs that I've got on the list, so I kind of have him lower. Next guy is Miles Sanders. Now, Miles Sanders is someone, man, this is where, as a Cowboy fan, I hate to say it, but I actually like Miles Sanders a lot, and I think he had the potential to be really good, and I think he could squeak into the top 10. But they didn't give him a lot to work with last year. And I think with some changes in the Eagles, head coach, coaching, new quarterback, Miles Sanders might have a breakout year. And I know there are some people out there who swear by him and have always said he's going to have a breakout year, but I actually really do feel it. So he's kind of my sleeper right now. I have him low on the list only because, again, he hasn't proven a whole lot to be the guy. But I think if they actually kind of smarten up and actually use him properly, I think he will be the guy. So I like Miles Sanders a lot. Then I've got J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins for the Ravens. Look, he did an amazing job last year. I think J.K. was 25th or so last year in fantasy, and they didn't use him a lot like they should have. Baltimore likes to kind of play around with both running backs, and then of course you've got Lamar Jackson. But I like J.K. Dobbins was the goal line guy as well, so I liked him a lot. Then I've got Joe Mixon. This is where I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate, and I know I have Joe Mixon low, and Joe Mixon probably should be higher where he is, but he's got some wear and tear on his body. And I think they're going to go a little more pass heavy with the fact that they've had 3 good receivers on the outside for Joe Burrow. And those injuries just really make me nervous. Okay, I'm just still kind of unsure how I feel about it. He hasn't been truly healthy. So for me, again, I'm just not sure yet, right? But I do like Joe Mixon a lot. He's still the guy for the Bengals. And he is someone that is going to still be in your top 20. Okay, all right, I have him at 19th, but he's still top 20. And to finish out the top 20, I have Najee Harris. Look, Najee Harris has been just sold as the guy coming into this year's draft as the running back. And the fact that Pittsburgh was a running team and kind of went away, I think for them that's a big deal. And there were so many things. If you look at any of the news and reports and things like that, they are just loving Harris in that backfield right now. They are saying he looks like he's nowhere near what a rookie would be. I mean, this guy is just highly touted right now, and I like him a lot. I have him on the end because he hasn't proven anything yet. But again, with this ever-changing ranking list, he could easily start to squeak up when we get a little bit closer to, preseason time. When I am able to see more videos, more YouTube, listen to more podcasts, kind of get my ideas of where these players are at in their progress in the training camps. But right now, I have Najee Harris at number 20. So I hope you guys appreciate and like what I was able to give you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you feel that there should have been some different changes, maybe some players added, maybe some players moved around. I'm all about getting some good feedback from the community. Again, this is my list. I think will be some good players going into the season. And again, ever-changing. It's not 100% like this is the list. That list will be closer to, like I said, the preseason games. But for right now, this is kind of where I stand with these guys. So again, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you check out our other ranking videos. We've got some more coming up as well. And then, like I said, we've got some mock draft videos. And then, of course, website will be coming soon. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you hit our socials up, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you think you guys have. You want some more feedback from us. And of course, I can't wait till the season starts to give you guys some great advice to help you guys win your championship this year. And I'll see you guys next time.